The Honourable Sandra Carr. Order. The Honourable Sandra Carr, waiting for her light.
Thank you, President. I rise to get a little shrill for a moment. I said in my inaugural speech that I was inspired by Julia Gillard and her comments of late in that we should call out sexism when we hear it early. So that's why I rise today. She said, "I will not," and that is exactly what I'm here to do. So I'll just take you on a little historical journey of the use of some language that is used in a way to undermine the roles of women. A 1926 survey on talk radio showed a ratio of about 100 to 1 respondents preferred male hosts to female hosts. They said women sounded shrill. 90 years later, the battle continued to rage on, and when Hillary Clinton was running for the presidency of the US, she was described and undermined as shrill. And then we got Donald Trump. There's a long history of women being told to avoid using the full rhetorical range of their voices, to use their indoor voices, or in other words, to be quiet, not to challenge. Don't speak with passion or force. Don't speak with authority that supersedes or usurps the males around you. In ancient Greece, women who spoke publicly were often associated with prostitution, madness, witchcraft and androgyny. Penny Wong in our federal parliament was referred to as shrill and hysterical by the delightful George Brandis. Saying that a woman is shrill is a microaggression. It's designed to undermine her status. It's saying that I want to undermine your credibility and I lack the capacity to do so on a level intellectual playing field, so I'll undermine your status and arguments by attempting to assert my masculine over your feminine. I invite you to consider how often you've called a male friend, colleague or a figure shrill, or how often you've described their tone as shrill. I would suggest it hasn't been very often, if at all. Margaret Thatcher was forced to undergo voice training to lower her voice because her voice was considered shrill. And while it didn't achieve the desired effect, it did leave scholars contemplating whether it was in fact more an issue with females in authority and a deep resentment of women in positions of authority. And if it is to be the tone in which a message is delivered that is to be critiqued, as was argued in this place, then there are many in this place who run the risk of lacking credibility. But let's look at words more broadly. Canadian anthropologist Michael Aman Regan noticed a few things that were troubling in the Oxford English Dictionary and the way that it used sentences to extrapolate the meaning of a word. For example, rabid feminists, women speaking in shrill voices, a nagging wife, or she's a wild, promiscuous, good-time girl. Meanwhile, male pronouns were used to describe words like doctor and research. If you cannot see that you are responsible for the language you use, that the language mirrors your values and your character, then I suggest, as Penny Wong suggested, take a Bex, have a good lie down and take a good hard look at your biases. Thank you.